We are joined now by Mississippi College head coach Norman Joseph as we take a look back at the Choctaws game against Sul Ross State this past weekend in Clinton. Coach, thanks for joining us. I know that you were disappointed in the loss in the ball game, but I thought late in the game, especially in the second half, the offense for the first time may have really found a good rhythm to get into this year. And I think that started with the confidence of your quarterback, Jonathan Reddy. I thought he had his strongest game yet.
I thought Jonathan played well. There was, you look at the negatives, and there was 3 interceptions that he threw, but one was a bad, just a poor decision on his part, and the other 2 were not part of his, part of what he did. It was caused by someone else. And but I thought Jonathan played well. He kept plays alive when he needed to, scrambled well for us, and made some nice checks at the line, and I thought he read their coverage as well to get the ball to our receivers.
And more so than any other game this year, I thought the offensive line provided him the time and the protection that he needed to make those good decisions. And
it's, when you have a young quarterback, Jonathan's learning every game. He's getting better every game, and you have to have great protection which allows him to grow at a pace where he's got confidence as he's growing, and this game was one that I felt like he played exceptionally well, made some great decisions for us, and then had a great great afternoon passing.
I saw some increased confidence also in the running game. Coming into the game, the yards per carry was just over 2. For the game, it was 4.5, and that is something that I know you need to build on that to keep drives alive.
Well, we one of our goals each week is to average 4 yards per carry. And by doing that, this past week it opened up some passing game for us. It allowed us, even though we're playing catch up, we still were wanting to have some balance within our offense. And but of course, when you fall behind like we did, you got to throw the ball quickly to get back into it. And we made a game out of it. We got close a couple times, but we just couldn't get close enough.
Talking about sustained drives, there were 7 drives of over 50 yards in the ball game, and just being able to stay on the field and compete gives you a chance to win there at the end.
And it does. We wanted to make it exciting. We felt like we could run some of our gadgets and some of those plays. And for a lot of people, those are called trick plays. It's just part of our offense. We start working on these and right when we report during preseason camp, and so we've got a slew of them, and we're going to use them and run them and hopefully cash in on some big plays like we did this past week.
But when those gadget plays work, when they give you some success in that one particular play, that allows the offense to get a little momentum going. It provides a real spark, doesn't it?
And it does give you the momentum. It also gives you some sort of rhythm, like you talked about earlier, that allows our linemen to run and play and make blocks downfield and what I call pencil neck defensive backs and so forth. So we and it's. But it also gets the defense winded because now they're playing from sideline to sideline as well as the vertical game, and it's a lot of fun. I know the folks in the stands like it. We as coaches, we enjoy seeing those type plays executed well, and it's fun for our offense to do it as well also.
You mentioned blocking downfield. I thought it was a good game for everybody who had to do that. And I just remember one play in particular was Matt Casanova, went about 20 yards downfield and blocked on a play. And so I thought the Choctaws did a good job doing that against Sul Ross.
Coach Howden does a great job. Our offensive line coach does a great job of stressing to our linemen of getting downfield, making blocks. You're going to block at the line of scrimmage, but once the ball's thrown, then you've got to be a factor in the rest of the play. And so hustling downfield, making blocks on defensive backs and linebackers is a plus. And I know exactly what you're talking about on the play that Matt had great success. It was a screen play, and our tailback caught the ball, got downfield, but Matt was leading the charge.
Well, what's the takeaway from this ball game? And again, I know you're disappointed in the loss, but what's the message to the ball club in the locker room after the game?
There was some disappointment. It was disappointment in that we were able to score some points, but we also gave up a lot of points. And this was our best offensive production by far, anything we've done all season long. I think there's confidence to build on this from the offensive standpoint. From a defensive standpoint, when you give up a lot of yards and a lot of points, then there's you can start pointing fingers and doing some things of that nature, and we don't do that. Every game, the offense depends on the defense depends on the offense, and everybody depends on the special teams play, and so there's no finger pointing. It's just where we are are right now is that we have set there's a standard of excellence that we have in our program, and we're not going to fall back from that standard. It is to continue to strive for outstanding play, to play in a game in which we come off the field and we're pleased with our play in every phase, and sure, you're going to make mistakes in a ball game. But the bottom line is come off the field victorious. And our standards are not going backwards. We are still have a high standard, and we want to continue striving for those standards.
Well, the Choctaws this week begin the second half of the season as we travel to Brownwood, Texas to take on the Howard Payne Yellow Jackets, and we'll talk about that game in a moment.
I'm Fabio Viviani here to convince you Domino's now has artisan quality pizzas. Wow, spinach and feta, salami. Cut! Sorry, okay. I forgot what the flavor is. Hand-stretched thinner crust.
Thinner crust.
I got tongue twisted.
That'll sell some pizza. Good idea, guys.
Look, there's nothing we can do in an ad to prove how good this artisan pizza is, so we're just going to offer it for $7.99.
If you try it, you'll be convinced.
Domino's new artisan pizza.
That's much better.
A few things have changed at MC over the years, but for the Choctaws, some things haven't, like long hours of practice, teamwork, dedication, and the desire for excellence on the field and in the classroom. As Choctaw fans, the people of Parkway Baptist Church in Clinton are proud of MC's rich athletic tradition, the university's commitment to a Christian education for all of its students, and a tradition of living, acting, and playing like champions. Find Parkway online at pbcclinton.org. Parkway Baptist Church, wishing the Choctaws the very best during the 2012 season.
Welcome back. We're with Coach Norman Joseph, now turning our attention to the Howard Payne Yellow Jackets this coming Saturday in Brownwood, Texas. Coach, the Yellow Jackets coming off a loss to Hardin-Simmons 56-10, but the final score doesn't really indicate how close that game was. The Cowboys scored 28 points in the fourth quarter there. It was a real close game up until the very end.
And they're playing much better ball. They have a new head football coach, and he's come in and instilled some real strong discipline. They're playing hard on every snap. And a lot of blitzing, a lot of stunning. You'll see that in the game on Saturday, and then offensively they're running the ball and controlling the clock. So controlling the clock to the extent that in the first quarter against Hardin-Simmons, which is an outstanding offensive unit and an outstanding defensive unit as well, but they took the opening drive, drove 16 plays, got down into the goal line. Finally, they eventually fumbled the ball. Hardin-Simmons ran 3 offensive plays, punted it, and then Howard Payne drove again on the long drive. So for the whole first quarter, Hardin-Simmons only had the ball 3 plays. It was amazing. I thought when I saw the tape that they had messed up and only sent us a limited number of plays, but that was their actual play count in the first quarter, only 3.
And it does start with their quarterback, Thomas Head, who really is a dual-threat quarterback. We kind of toss that term all around a good bit, but he can throw the ball, and he's their top rusher as well.
And what they're doing is they're running some options. He's also scrambling. They're an I formation team. They break out of it a little bit, but basically ball control, run the ball. Let him have it, makes good decisions as a quarterback, throwing or keeping the play alive, and because of his good play, then they're doing some positive things on offense.
Well, last week the Choctaws were able to take advantage of the Sul Ross penalties. Now, Howard Payne is a team that last week turned the ball over 4 times, so they've made some mistakes here in the last couple of ball games, and I know that's something the Choctaws have to be ready to take advantage of again this week.
And we hope we can. Our defense has created a lot of turnovers this fall, and however, the last couple of games we haven't done as much as what we did earlier in the year. But that's something we want to get back to doing well, and it brings excitement to the team, not just the defense, but it brings excitement to the team, knowing that the offense is back out on the field, possibly even playing on a short field for a short drive and points on the board.
Well, this is the first of back-to-back long road trips for the Choctaws. We'll go to Brownwood this week, Seguin the next week. I think the last time we went to Brownwood, we had about an hour-and-a-half weather delay in the middle of the game. You just never know what can happen. And so this really begins a long stretch for these players who are kind of in the middle of the semester, a lot of midterms going on. It's a real tough period of time, and I know it's tough for the coaches as well, but especially for the players to concentrate.
Well, we talked to our guys about about playing on the road, having a good game plan, being able to travel well, and for the most part we do. I feel like our guys handle the traveling aspect of it very well, and it's just a matter of playing in front of a hostile crowd, knowing that, and this one will be for sure, it's their homecoming, and it's Howard Payne's homecoming, and so we know there'll be a big crowd, a lot of folks there to support them, and hopefully we'll have a few fans there as well. But it's that should be motivation in itself to go out and play, perform, and play your very best, and play to a level that allows us to be successful.
And I know even the last time we went on the road to Hardin-Simmons, we had a good representation of Choctaw family and friends and fans there in the pouring rain, and hopefully they'll come out and make this trip too.
Absolutely. We need them there.
Well, Coach, we appreciate your time. We will look forward to the game.
Hey, thank you so much.
Choctaw is taking on the Howard Payne Yellow Jackets this Saturday in Brownwood.